This is Optimal Living Daily, Cooking Tips for Eating to 100 by Dan Buettner with BlueZones.com. And I'm Justin Malik, your personal narrator, except on the extra Sunday bonus episodes where I share an episode from another podcast in the Optimal Living Daily network. Today's coming from my brother show, Optimal Health Daily. You can find and follow or subscribe to Optimal Health Daily wherever you're hearing this. But for now, let's get right to the bonus episode as we optimize your life.
Cooking Tips for Eating to 100 by Dan Buettner of BlueZones.com. The longevity phenomenon is disappearing in blue zones, but its secrets survive, mostly in the kitchens of older people. People who have grown up eating the foods of their ancestors and aren't looking to trade them in for packaged junk. Older people who possess the skills, recipes, and culinary wisdom of previous generations carry forth a tradition that is centuries or millennia old. For the Blue Zones kitchen, I went back to each of the 5 Blue Zones areas. I persuaded older people to allow me to watch them cook everyday foods. In most cases, I spent the better part of a day perched on a stool observing exactly how to make the food that has produced the world's longest-lived people. In Blue Zones areas, people ate meat and sweets, but mostly as celebratory foods. Everyday meals were composed of simple peasant fare, made with fresh, plant-based ingredients. Some of the recipes require time to prepare, but the vast majority take less than a half hour. Another plus, most of the ingredients are cheap: beans, whole grains, herbs. This completely destroys the myth that you need to be rich to be healthy. In fact, the reverse is true. Along the way, I met experts who could help me explain why the foods people ate led to longer lives. Dr. Makoto Suzuki and Drs. Craig and Bradley Wilcox in Okinawa, geneticist Dr. David Reckhoff in Costa Rica, Dr. Gary Fraser in Loma Linda, Dr. Christina Krisuhu in Ikaria, and the great Gianni Pes in Sardinia. Here are a few cooking tips for eating to 100. 1. Use fewer ingredients. Blue Zones diets tend to use the same 20 or so ingredients over and over. Less variety may help keep people from overeating and keep the immune system strong. 2. Add cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower have been known to help protect the heart, stave off cancer, and lower oxidative stress. In Sardinia, we discovered that because people add cruciferous vegetables to their daily minestrone, the thyroid functions differently and may help slow down metabolism and help you live longer. Think of turning down the flame of a lighter, for example. 3. Make beans tasty. In America, cooks tend to make meat the focus of their ingenuity. In the Blue Zones, beans are the main story. They're cooked into soups and stews, enhanced with spices and complemented by grains and vegetables. Moreover, nuts, beans, and grains are a much healthier source of protein than meat or eggs, and they're also high in fiber and complex carbohydrates. Finally, they're cheap, they're versatile, and they allow subtle flavors to shine through. 4. Finish dishes with olive oil. In Blue Zones, room temperature olive oil, which is rich in monounsaturated fatty acids, is added to breads, drizzled over vegetables, and added to soups and stews. 5. Supplement with fresh herbs and spices. Rosemary, oregano, sage, mint, garlic, turmeric, and mugwort all possess well-documented medicinal values. They also add flavor while imparting healing properties. Since most bioactive properties in herbs degrade as soon as you pick them, it's best to use them fresh. Those in Blue Zones often get their herbs from a kitchen garden, which doubles as a live medicine chest. 6. Fiber is more important than we thought. Grains, greens, nuts, and beans not only contain the protein, complex carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals that keep our heart healthy and our mind sharp and prevent cancers, they also feed the 8 pounds of bacteria living in our gut. Some of those bacteria produce toxins like choline. Others produce compounds that reduce inflammation, regulate our metabolism, and fuel our immune system. The toxin-producing bacteria tend to feed off meat and eggs, while the healthy bacteria favor fiber. 7. Enjoy your meals with red wine. We've all heard plenty about polyphenols and antioxidants, which occur more often in red than white wine. But it turns out that red wine, along with a Blue Zone's plant-based diet, almost triples the absorption of antioxidants. Also, 90 to 95% of wine polyphenols are metabolized in the gut, where good bacteria convert them to powerful compounds that lower inflammation and decrease leaky gut syndrome. And 8, it's not just what you eat. Finally, it's important to remember that eating for longevity is not just about what you eat, but how you eat. Blue Zones teach us that dining with family, pausing before a meal to express gratitude, eating a bigger breakfast, and trying to eat all of your calories in an 8-hour window helps you stay healthier, live longer, and feel better. In Sardinia, people pass each other on the street and greet each other by saying, "Ankatanos," may you live to 100. So, here's to making it to your 100th birthday, and may the people sitting around your table be there to count every year. You just listened to the post titled, "Cooking Tips for Eating to 100" by Dan Buettner of bluezones.com.
If you're serious about optimizing your life, you need to understand what's happening inside your body. That's where Superpower comes in. Superpower sends a licensed professional to your home, or you visit a nearby lab, for one simple draw testing over 100 biomarkers, way more than a standard checkup. You get info on your heart, liver, thyroid, hormones, metabolism, vitamins, and even environmental toxins. What I love is that with Superpower, you get an actionable plan with supplement suggestions, nutritional guidance, and lifestyle adjustments. You'll discover your true biological age and track progress over your lifetime. Make this the year you stop guessing about your health with Superpower. Not only did Superpower reduce their price to just $199, but for a limited time, our listeners get an additional $20 off with code OLD. Head to superpower.com and use code OLD at checkout for $20 off your membership. After you sign up, they'll ask how you heard about them, so make sure to mention this podcast to support the show.
Rinse knows that greatness takes time, but so does laundry. So Rinse will take your laundry and hand deliver it to your door expertly cleaned. And you can take the time pursuing your passions. Time once spent sorting and waiting, folding and queuing, now spent challenging and innovating and pushing your way to greatness. So pick up the Irish flute or those calligraphy pens or that daunting beef Wellington recipe card and leave the laundry to us. Rinse. It's time to be great.
Dr. Neil here for my commentary. If you've listened to this podcast for even just a little while, you've probably heard me talk about the Blue Zones. The Blue Zones are the areas around the world where people tend to live longer, basically where they're more likely to live into their 100th year of life and beyond. Dan Buettner, author of today's post and books on the Blue Zones, found that those that live in these areas around the world tend to follow certain lifestyle behaviors, and they tend to follow the same lifestyle behaviors like staying active, staying social, eating a nutritious diet, which was discussed in today's post, and so on. Now, I do tend to flinch a little when there's a general recommendation about alcohol consumption. This is because there are those that may not want to consume alcohol, like those with a history or family history of addiction, or those with diabetes, or those that are pregnant or thinking of becoming pregnant, or those on certain medications, or adolescents. So anytime we want to start a new health behavior, exercise, consuming alcohol, you name it, we always want to weigh the benefits and risks first. And of course, talk to your doctor to make sure they're okay with it too. All right, that'll do it for today. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back here tomorrow as usual. So I'll see you there where your optimal life awaits.